Welcome to the Hey Sister podcast, where sisters share real opinions and have honest conversations about life, growth, and everything in between. Hey sisters, how y'all doing?
Hey
Hey,
sisters.
sisters.
Well, as always, before we hop into the episode, let's do a quick little check-in. How is everyone feeling?
I'm excited. It's Black History Month. Best time to be Black. Always a good time to be Black, but especially during Black History Month.
I am feeling grateful to be Black. I remember, I don't know, I feel like growing up, I'd always feel like I was surrounded by white people growing up, and I was like, oh my gosh, being Black is like such a burden. But now that I'm like an adult, I'm like, oh my gosh, imagine being anything else. I could never do it. So I'm very grateful to be Black.
I'm going to do something different and use a word to describe my day, and it's unserious. And so I was on the train, I was waiting for the train, and I was sitting next to this couple, and then there was this Black man next to me, and not me turning down Black men, Black History Month, it's okay. Anyways, like this man that was in the couple, he sniffles, and this Black man is like, "You need to wear a mask." And he was like, and the guy is like, "I'm sorry, huh?" And he was like, "Oh, you want to fight?" And literally gets us trying to fight this man. And I'm sitting right next to that, and so I get out, so I'm like, I'm not a part of this. What? All because you sniffled.
That's crazy.
You can't even sniffle out here, so be careful, y'all in New York. Better keep
I'm
those sniffles to yourself.
You can't do nothing in New York.
Right.
That's
Okay, my feeling. I'm feeling black. Blackity black, black, the blackity black. That is my feeling today. I am so excited. It's Black History Month. It literally, as you know, we're Black every day, every second, every minute. So it's Black History Month every month for us. But I do appreciate the little 28 days that they give us to really lock in on us and support, Black-owned businesses, the history, the country that we feel, and all the work and dedication that we have put in to the better of this country, period, really. And we're still doing it to this day, no matter how bad they treat us, suckers. We're gonna give a bit of history about Black History Month. So I was doing some research, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I'm going to be reading, so bear with me. Black History Month began in 1926 with historian Carter G. Woodson. He established Negro History Week to center the contributions and experiences of Black Americans at a time we were largely ignored in the mainstream history. Unfortunately, that is the same today. Over the decades, this week grew into a month-long annual celebration in February, and it was officially recognized by President Ford in 1976, by Congress in 1986, and now today it is celebrated throughout the United States and around the world as a time to learn, reflect, and to honor Black history and culture. So one thing I thought that was really cool that I had no clue. Well, you guys let me know. Did you know that every year, like Black History Month has a theme?
No, definitely
Did not
not.
know that.
I did not. I also have never had the inclination to look any of this up. So I'm glad you researched it, because I when did Black History Month start? No clue. So I appreciate you looking into this.
Okay, so who makes the theme is the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, and they've been doing this for decades. Also, this is the 100th year of Black History Month.
Wow.
So,
Oh my God, I didn't realize that.
Wait,
This
they need
is
a better
a
marketing team.
deal.
They need a very
Yeah.
good
No, who
marketing
is
team.
the marketing team for Black History
Who
Month?
is
Get them on the
PR?
phone.
That's huge.
Actually, after this recording, I'm going to email them like, hey, do y'all need help?
Yeah, like, do you guys need
We
assistance?
only have about 19 more days to get everyone in line. But yeah, so every year it's a specific theme that we're supposed to follow. And they selected the theme to spotlight a particular aspect of the Black experience. And I don't have this written down, but I remember reading that whoever thought of the theme, they said they wanted us to focus on something because we can very much, do too much. So they're like, let's just hone in on one thing at one time. Great idea. So I'm gonna say some past themes and the theme of this year, then some themes of like the future. So 2023, the theme was Black resistance. In 2024, it was African Americans in the arts. In 2025, it was the focus of African Americans in labor. This year, it is a century of Black history, honoring 100 years of Black history and reflecting on the impact. And then next year is kind of cool too. 2027 from Black print culture to digital Blackness. And yeah, it just goes on from there.
That's
So I
so
thought that
cool.
was really cool. And I think now that we all know us now, our listeners, I think that we can kind of have a little bit more intention going into Black History Month. Well, I guess like this year is kind of like we're just celebrating. You know, we're just
Mhm.
going to celebrate times 10 being Black
Yeah.
and everything that
100
we've
years is crazy.
accomplished.
Yeah.
No, 100
Yeah.
years is insane. And I think it's just crazy. This is the first year, like you said, I've never looked this up. But I
Mhm.
can't even remember in school, like, did we, like, I'm sure we've talked about Black History Month, but I can't really remember, like, learning, like, why it started or, you know, how everything went. I feel like there's maybe, like, a Black History Month celebration, and
Yeah.
that was probably it. So, yeah, so I feel like it's funny the first year I look it up is the 100th year. So let's get serious.
The special.
Right. So let's get into some of our questions today. How do we as a community celebrate Black History Month? Are there signature events within the community that we know about or attend every year?
I feel like in school, I always remember there being some type of assembly or like luncheon. I feel like probably in high school there was some like blacks only events that like me and my friends were getting invited to as
Black
well.
only events.
Which was fun. I'm like trying to think back. I don't know what those luncheons or assemblies were about or what we talked about. I just remember there being kente cloth on the walls. That's like what I remember. And I don't even know in schools, probably some schools don't even celebrate Black History Month anymore.
I was
So
gonna say.
Ours didn't.
that got killed. And y'all didn't?
No.
I think they maybe acknowledged it on the
Yeah.
February 1st, like it's Black History Month, and then like
They said,
you have to
Next.
also
That's it.
realize that at our K through 8 was like 5 Black people.
they said we ain't got much to talk about.
Literally, like good luck
That's
to y'all. Have
crazy.
fun.
Okay, wow. Dang. Yeah, they definitely did something. I don't know what it was, but they definitely did something. I think now in New York City, I think like the biggest like event that comes up in my mind is First Saturdays at the Brooklyn Museum. That's usually is like their biggest one that they'll do. It's like the first Saturday of every month they have like a free like event that anyone can go to. But during Black History Month, that one's pretty like poppin'. I think they've fallen off in the past like year or so because when I first moved here, it was like the place to be. And now I think also, I feel like lately, this is not answering your question, but lately I feel like now there's more emphasis or like big celebrations on Juneteenth. So I think that's where
That's
maybe
true.
as a community we have shifted our focuses. But my favorite like tradition that I do in like signature things every Black History Month is just focusing on supporting and highlighting as many Black owned businesses as I can in different spaces and restaurants.
I think for me, like Bria said, like growing up like through school, they didn't really celebrate that. I feel like we didn't really do anything for real like growing up like that. But I feel like undergrads like the first time like like clubs and stuff would do something and like to try to do like events like that focus on like Black History Month, like I was AK, and so like we would do like Black History themed events. Then I feel like post school it was like back to like nothing really. Like I feel like nothing really happened like in work or even like they'll send an email of acknowledgement, but that's kind of like it.
Yeah.
I was living in Texas before New York, and like they weren't doing anything for real in there to celebrate either. I do like how like sometimes people will do like showcase Black owned businesses or like small businesses, but like other than that, I don't know if I've ever like been to a for real like Black History Month celebration like really ever. This is my first New York one, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say pretty much the same thing. I think like at both of my like post grad jobs, they've had like employee resource groups that are for Black people, and so they'll usually do like a Black History Month event where they like bring soul food and they have music and it's like the whole thing. But as far as like events that are Black history targeted, I'm not super familiar. I think that like obviously the stores would be like celebrate this Black business, but honestly, I'm interested to see how that evolves for this year with, you know, now that we're in Trump era. So, and like everyone kind of rolling back their DEI, I'm interested to kind of see if that's even the same, if at all.
Good point. So I feel like I asked this question because same, I really don't know of too many like I feel like productive like Black History Month events. Like, people gathering, like what are we doing? Like I feel like I need to get more involved. some things I can think of over the years, honestly, like you guys were saying, like people just highlighting black-owned businesses, so it's or even just like highlighting black-owned like music and television too. So I can remember like in the past couple of years, I feel like Spotify and Apple specifically, they'll kind of do like some type of celebration of like different artists will actually like do covers of like historic black songs. So I think that's kind
Mhm.
of cool, and they'll put it on like a Black History Month playlist, or like if you go on Netflix or Hulu or whatever you stream, they'll have like our black, history, or like our black television section, which I actually really love because usually it's watching like a lot of like black TV in general. So for me, it's just like easier to find it. Like, ooh, there we are. But then
Yep.
after a couple months, it's gone. So I'm just like, now I have to go scroll
Disappears.
and look for some new black shows again. But I will say, like in Atlanta, I know they have like a Black History Month like parade, and like a lot of like the museums and like the civil centers will have like different events. So I'm gonna really try to tap in this
Yeah.
month and try to attend some more celebratory events. The one thing I can always remember is people making party flyers for
Oh
February
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then putting MLK or whoever on the fucking flyer. And it would be like
Yeah.
MLK shaking hands with Kobe Bryant. Like, come
Yeah.
shake that ass at this party. No, why y'all need to stop doing that. Stop
Y'all
putting
saw
these
her
people on these
daughter.
flyers.
Y'all saw his daughter. It was like, y'all got one more time. I'm about to start suing.
Oh yeah, was that Sexy Red or who? No.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I think
I
it was
think that
Sexy
was like the
Red.
last straw. But like,
Mhm.
she's been for years been like, please stop putting my dad's face on stuff. But then something I can't
Yes.
remember. I can't picture it. But something was Sexy Red, and she was like, all right. But I think what the most recent one was like this. It became like a trend a couple months ago where this
Mhm.
like AI company was like
Yeah.
allowing his pictures to be used for any type of thing, and I guess I got like cease and desisted, and they had to like block
Oh,
that
that's good.
prompt. Yeah. Like stop using my dad.
No, seriously, because the AI shit's getting weird.
Yeah, for sure.
How do we feel about corporations going super hard in February, pushing black products, TV shows, music, etc.? But as soon as the 28 days, not even a full month, as soon as the 28 days are over, they're not pressed until the next year.
I can start. I think that for the most part it feels like a little bit performative. I pre Trump era, I actually would have given Target like a lot of credit for doing really well at this, because I felt like, especially in Black History Month, but around the year, they were like very intentional about, support the lip bar, support Tabitha Brown, like literally highlighting some of the black businesses that they have in Target. And then obviously we all know last year they pulled back on all their DEI initiatives. And I think I remember Black History Month being like, they had some items, but it was real quiet compared to other years. And I feel like it'll just get more quiet this year. I think that like in the past, it seemed like a little bit performative, just especially those companies where it's like, all right, like y'all clearly like don't really care about this, but you have to like keep your black customer. But I don't know. I think pre this presidency, I would have been like, oh yeah, Target's like the best company that's doing it, because I feel like we're very intentional about like not just putting like Happy Black History Month on a shirt, but like go actually spend your money on these black businesses that we house in here. So
I think overall, it just feels fake and forced. Like, and no one wants to just feel like you're just doing something just, dot your I's and cross your T's. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like in even like other cultures, or even if like they're supporting and like tapping in only February, like, well, what the hell are you doing the other months? Like being racist, not fucking with us? Like, I don't understand, why are you only going to this black owned restaurant or this black owned business or buying these products during this month? Like, and of course, like if there's products that you don't really like, or you try them a couple times, or whatever you tried a couple times, you don't like it, then I feel like you should strive to find something else in the community that you can support regularly. Because I feel like as a black community, that's kind of what we do, or what we've been forced to do, and that's what we just kind of naturally do anyway. My dad always says like people are way too nice. Like people will shit on us and play with us, and we're just like still so optimistic, and just like we're just always, I feel like, the bigger person. So I feel like, why can't everyone else, especially in like white America, why can't they be that way with us? And I feel like it's kind of the same for like, they have like I think their months, like, because I really just kind of see it like when it's on like the Netflix shows, like Hispanic month, for like Pan Asian month, and like all these other things. And I feel like with different cultures, like I love kind of engulfing myself with different cultures, learning about them, and like kind of consuming the things that they produce. And that's kind of like a natural thing that we will do. But it feels like when other cultures are doing it, they're just doing it to like fit in for that moment. And then like 5 days later, they're gonna forget about us, and then they don't really care. Let's stop being fake, and how about everyone that is not black try to find something black that you really fuck with and
No,
really
for
hone
sure.
in on it without trying to be performative.
I really struggle with the balance of like calling companies out for being performative, because I feel like no matter what they're doing, I'm like, y'all just like, here, damn, like it's Black History Month, here your Black TV show. And then it's like, on the other hand, if they don't do that, I'm like,
Yeah.
you couldn't even give us a here, damn.
Yeah.
True.
You couldn't even throw a girl a
There's
bone.
something.
Yes, like y'all are lazy. So I definitely struggle with that. I feel like we've touched on a little bit like the companies who do put their money where their mouth is. I feel like that's like a big differentiator. I can't honestly give you guys a good example of someone who's doing that right now because times are a little hard. As someone who's like, I feel like truly like tapped in to that and like always supporting like Black creators or Black companies and Black TV shows. But I think that's like what makes it, that's how you get out of the, oh, this is just performative territory.
So we have one more question before we move into our listener questions. It is, who are some notable Black women who are overlooked in the conversations overall about Black history?
I think someone who's often forgotten about, especially in this context of like monthly celebrations, is Marsha P. If you're not familiar, Marsha P. Johnson was one of the veterans of the Stonewall Inn protest, which was like a very big pivotal event in like the LGBTQ liberation movement. I've put her because I think that, you know, as we're talking about like celebrations across like Black history, Hispanic heritage, the Asian American history months, I think that one of the areas that always gets a month and like I think gets a lot of attention, especially over recent years, is the LGBTQ community. A lot of these companies, whether or not they're very loud about Black History Month, they're going to be loud about Pride. Like I think that like Pride is huge. Like everyone's putting a rainbow on their logo. A lot of companies aren't changing their logos to kente cloth. So I think that's like, I mean, I think the true differentiator is that like I think the true differentiator is that Pride Month encompasses white gays as well. And I think that that's like why there's a little bit more focus on that. But I think it's important to remember that the impact of a Black woman made all of that possible. And I think that, you know, beyond all of the parades and the logo changes and the rainbows and everyone out at the bars and the glitter and all of that, I think that it's wonderful that like everyone is able to celebrate and like really lean into that month. And you know, especially with, I know it's not recent, but like gay marriage being legalized, like obviously that's a huge step from like where we used to be like back in history. But I do think that it makes me wonder if everyone who's celebrating Pride knows like who's actually behind their ability to do so. And I hate that she's lost in a lot of conversation. So
yeah. And then Bria, I feel like that's a good point. I think we need to make like a list of demands for Black History Month.
yes.
Like if y'all want to participate, this is what you should do at bare minimum. You need to change your logo colors to black, red, green, and yellow, just like y'all do Pride Month.
I want a parade.
We would like to, yes, and we need bigger parades. Like I know Atlanta has a parade, but I feel like no one hears about it. People travel for the Pride Parade. Like I've even been in a Pride Parade before when I worked with a company in New York. Yeah. And it was like, you going really fun, like it was like really cool just to like support the community. But I'm also like, well, can we get that too? Can y'all support us as well? So we need bigger parades and we need the logo colors. Thank you.
Period.
And
I think mine, I don't think necessarily it's like like a person, but more like groups of people. I like love the Netflix movie 6888 and then also Hidden Figures. Like those I feel like do a good representation of like Black women's impact they didn't necessarily get a ton of credit for. Like Hidden Figures, like 3 Black women that were like really a part of the NASA mission that sent John Glenn, I think it was, like to space. And then 6888 was like a all Black, all female US Army unit that like did a lot with like the backlog of mail to like improve like morale and everything. And so I think like I love like little movies that like they're obviously it's like a good representation. It might be a little off, yes, but like I think that they do a good job of like being able to like bring important people and like just like the impact that Black people have had on different spaces that they weren't necessarily got their credit for. I think those are two good movies that do a good job of that.
So now we're going to move into our segment questions. So we actually have 2 questions from the same person today. Shout out to Nikki Duce. Nikki Duce asks, outside of the Black legends that we grew up learning about, are there any up-and-coming Black people who will be viewed as legends in the next 20 to 30 years? My first go-to answers, of course, were Barack and Michelle Obama, because we're going to include Michelle because she did a ton
Yes, for
to
sure.
move us forward. To be healthy and just overall not be stupid. I feel like. And it's actually so crazy because I can't remember like what it was called, but like we were in school when I feel like we were like probably in middle school, like maybe transitioning to high school. They started taking away like the regular hot Cheetos and hot Flamin' Hots, and they switched it to like the baked ones. We had like pieces of cake and everything. They took all that away, and we're just like, this shit is stupid. No, we had like you can just get a little piece of cake, and it was like big as hell. Like it's 11 o'clock. You're eating milk, a chicken sandwich, a piece of cake, and Flamin' Hot. Clearly,
that's crazy.
she was on to something because what the fuck are we doing? And I think now just being older, I'm like, that was insane. Like, how are we eating that? Basically, for breakfast. And then being expected to be awake and be engaged and be in school all day, it makes no sense.
Yeah, for sure. I think my like dub for your answer is Beyonce, and outside of me being like a Beyonce fan, I think that we're gonna look back on like the length of her career, all the different things that she did, like how long she was able to just do what she's done excellently. And I think a lot of people already see her as a legend, but like I think once she like really throws in the towel and retires, I think people are gonna really look back and be like, dang, I don't know if we'll ever see one like that again. And I think of like who's gonna have, knock on wood, God forbid, all the things, but like who's gonna have that like earth shattering, the world's gonna stop when they pass away artists that are gonna have that. And I don't think that we're gonna like see anything like that, like what we saw for like Michael Jackson or Prince or like some of those people. I think Beyonce will probably be like the next one and like the only one that I can like truly think of right now. And then I think the other one I was gonna say is Kamala. I think that like right now in the moment it's maybe like hard to see how legendary like what she did was, because it was just like such a polarized election and it was like this or that. And she's also a very polarizing figure even within the Black community of, you know, she had like her history as, what was it, like a prosecutor. I do remember it being like a real point of contention amongst like the Black community of how she was helping put Black people in jail and like all these different things. But I think that in a couple of years when we like take a step back, her being able to run against someone like Donald Trump and like do well, you honestly can't convince me that she didn't win that election, to be quite honest. That's a different conversation for a different day, but like how the strides she was able to make, I think was absolutely like legendary. And I think she'll go down as that. It's just maybe hard to see it right now because we're just in it. Like we're obviously in the worst result possible.
I can only think about athletes right now. I don't know why, but I feel like the ones that come to mind that I feel like are, well, first I thought about Kobe Bryant and then LeBron James, Serena Williams, and Simone Biles. I feel like are the 4 that I think of where it's like they've just done so much in their respective sport, or it's like they've like broken so many like records, like stuff that like you wouldn't think like could be done, they've actually done. And so I think that their name is actually going to really hold weight like in the future, even like way past like once they're gone.
I'm thinking of 2 people in particular whose career has been like slowly rising, and I feel like this year is going to be like the pinnacle and just like the start to like whatever else they're going to do in the future. Definitely legends in the making, and I love watching their careers up close and personal while it's happening live. One is Mayala from Industry. She's the Black girl in Industry. She's like the main point of the show. Like everything kind of like revolves around her. And she actually, fun fact, used to live in my neighborhood, and I walked past her once, and it was actually my dream to walk past her once. And I just found out my friend works out at the same gym as her, so I might be switching gyms soon because I really am a fan. I really am a fan. And I just think she has such a wide range of like acting that she does, and like she's been popping up in a lot of different stuff. She's done like some like more like period pieces, like thrillers, psychological thrillers, and then obviously like Industry is like a drama. And I think she does well. I feel like she's gonna be like, if she's interested in like production and stuff, which I feel like a lot of like artists are, I feel like she's gonna be like a Kerry Washington type, like where she can just like do anything. And then as far as like the beauty industry space CEO, the topicals CEO,
That's a good one.
I love her.
I love her so much, and I just saw she just got a really big another round of funding from
I saw that.
Rema
Period.
and Angel Reese, and I think her having control over her company, and we'll see like how long that lasts, because I know sometimes it is hard to keep control, and if like she wants to sell it, that's fine. But I think it'll be so beautiful to see like how long she can have that run for, because she's doing an incredible job so far, and it's really hard to be a Black beauty owner in that space. So I think she's got something incredible.
She had all the girls out in public with those little patches on their ass.
She
Like, those
started
are not
trends.
accessories.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
wear
I
them
want
to the club. The girls were at the day parties with those patches under their ass. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
No,
she's a trendsetter.
No, she starts trends, and I think just like she's very good like cultural storytelling and like engulfing that into her marketing rollouts and her campaigns. And I think that's like just the number one like driver for marketers right now. Like you can't just like have something look cool or like be cool. Like you have to like be able to inflict like feelings amongst people. And especially like if you're connecting people with like culture or like things that they grew up with. She just like I feel like just executes everything like super beautifully. And also she was like wasn't she like the person to get like the most funding ever for her company, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
There was
sure
something
like,
about that.
Yeah, like she's very smart. And then also like she went when I watched an interview on her, I'm pretty sure she went to med school, or like when she was in school she was studying like medical. So she really was like trying to figure out how to actually fix I forget like what exactly top I know things for your face. She was actually trying to fix a problem. Yeah. And like her product not only like it does that times 10, but then she was able to make like a really cool successful brand out of that. So
yeah,
I love that.
I have one more, and you talking made me think of it, and I'm like, it's similar to Maya, where it's like not yet, but I know it's coming. And if I pronounce her last name wrong, please forgive me. But Skylar Mashai, I think that she will go down as like one of the best creative directors like ever. Like, I think that like the stuff that she does for Instagram for just like brand deals, it's like, girl, how does your mind work like that? Yeah. And I think that like once I don't know if she's like actively trying to become a director for a brand or something like that, but I think if she were to go that route, and even if she weren't, honestly, I think that like she could truly go down as like one of the better creative minds of this like generation for sure.
I saw people in her comments are like, Skylar, please direct my life. And I too would like to be on that list of people.
Yeah, for anyone listening, if you haven't, immediately the first thing that comes to mind, she did a literally Instagram post ad for like Sir Davis and also New Balance. The New Balance one like completely blew my mind. I was like, how do you even think of things like this? But that's your homework assignment, is to go look at her Instagram and find those ads, because it's absolutely insane.
Love her.
So thank you so much for submitting the questions. If you want to send us a question for future episodes, send us an email at theheysisterpod@gmail.com, or hit us on Instagram, TikTok, or any of our social medias as well. You can find those in the link at our bio at Hey Sister Pod. We'll move on to our next segment called Put Me On and Put That Down, where we are putting you on to the things that we are really enjoying and are going to start doing, and putting down the things that no longer serve us. So who wants to start?
I can start. Put me on. I really want to try Sacred. Of course, I don't think we can get through an episode without talking about
we do it every single time. Like, golly.
And that's fine. I feel like a lot of celebrities will start brands. We kind of look like we'll start hair brands or makeup brands specifically, and kind of side eye like, another product we have to spend money on and try, or like another failed, company that they just want to take our money. But I've heard such good reviews about Sacred, and I really haven't heard anything bad about it. So I'm just really excited to try that and to grow my hair. So I'm gonna put that on for myself really soon. Oh, okay. We need to bring back family reunions. I feel like there's definitely families that are still very much like, we're locked in. We're having a family reunion every year. Like, we do not care. Like, we're going to see each other. But I feel like my family specifically, like even on both sides, we kind of have like one of our family reunions we still have like every year, but it's kind of like all the last names, so it's not just like the Gambles or whatever. Like it was like the Jackson family. So there's like so many like last names and so many families within one. So you kind of see everyone at once. But I'm like with my family, even on like my mom's side, we used to get together. A lot of my family's from like Huntington, West Virginia, and everyone kind of just like dispersed and moved out to like different states now. But I feel like it was such a big deal. Like we would always go back to West Virginia and like post somewhere and like have lunch and like go to like a amusement park. We just do all these activities for days. Now, mind you, I remember one year my grandma did it in Cincinnati, and like you realize that one, that shit costs lots of money because you have to like put up money for activities. Of course, people pay you back, but it's also like, well, will they ever pay you back? Who knows?
Right.
And then it's like you have to get like holds on hotels. Like it's really a whole ordeal that like if you're planning it, you actually really have to like make sure you have the time to like deal with that and just deal with like communicating with your whole family at one time, which I know that can be actually very exhausting. So I do get that, but I definitely want to bring it back. Me and one of my older cousins, Jasmine, she's always like, guys, we have to have our family reunion. We have to figure it out. And I'm just like, well, girl, I have to have some disposable money to pay for everyone to get to where they're going first. So we need to wait. Yes, we can figure out how to make family reunions a little bit cheaper. Maybe we can all start having them again because we need to be gathering. And then
Yeah,
also, I feel like
that's a
there's
good
lots
one.
of family drama. Like people don't even want to, like people will never be in the same room at one point again. So I'm like, dang, that sucks. But somehow I'm
Yeah.
gonna force it, and it's gonna be good.
I was gonna say it's definitely my last family reunion was definitely younger than I was when I was 18 years old. Like I don't remember
Yeah.
it.
We need it. And then, okay, something to put y'all on that I feel like everyone already knows about, but people shit on it so much. Justice for Tubi. I love Tubi. I won't say like I love it, but I really like the
No,
platform
you said you love
overall.
it.
I do. Because one overall, if you go on Tubi, they actually like compared to like a Hulu or Netflix, they actually have like a good array of movies. And also like not just black, but like they have like a very good selection of like old school movies that you can't find anywhere else. So I'm just like, oh, I can actually go on Tubi to like watch old stuff that I love. But also with Tubi, I feel like people overlook like you have to start somewhere. So just because like the people who are like the biggest directors don't have a platform for their first movie, if we were to watch their first movie that they put together and probably in college, because I feel like a lot of white directors like have the privilege to like go to film school and have like mentors and have access to equipment that costs thousands of dollars that no one else has access to and has all these rooms and rentals. Like filming a movie is expensive. Like I film like content and music videos. Like I've done $100,000 plus music video before. Like, and that's music video. 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
100K. So a movie, like I cannot imagine. Like I've worked on like short films and like documentaries, but I feel like we even like shot them in a way that wasn't like, too costly. Yeah, like filming a movie is like very hard. So I feel like people really downplay like Tubi movies. Like, okay, you might see the mic in a thing or the acting may not be great, but it's also like if this is their first movie, if you really look at it, it's really not that bad. And if you give them like 5 to 10 years, they'll like be up there, hopefully with the Ryan Coogler. And I think also like especially in like the black community, I feel like we really like downplay like black stories sometimes. Like we might think it's like goofy, like, oh, who thought of this? Ha ha ha. But like these are these are typically people's life stories. Like don't not gonna get into like Tyler Perry's world.
I was gonna say,
but his Medea, I will say like his old stuff, like his old Medea stuff, like going to the country and talking to older people like 60 and up, that was literally their lives. Like throwing grease on a nigga that cheated on them, they literally did that shit. Like this is not something that he made up for our humor, like for our amusement. So I think it's also something to realize that like yes, a lot of like black stories may be like hood or ghetto or country, but like these are our experiences. And if we want to, even be more engulfed in our culture, we have to have a safe space to be able to share that. So I would say, for Tubi, just give them some time to get better production and get some money. But also, I think with sometimes the Tubi movies that I do watch, they're definitely like funny and goofy. But the ones that kind of like throw in some horror in them, like there's always like I don't know. There's like I wish I should have looked it up. There's one to be series. It's like a series of these people. They're always just like hustling, doing what they got to do. But then like one girl will turn into like a killer. then like she'll kill the bad people in the city, and then she like turns into like a Batman, and it's just like I don't know, it's just like a very long ongoing plot. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of locked in, and I
Okay.
like it. So I think everyone should give 2B a better chance.
That's not the first time I've heard
Uh,
that, actually. So I feel like this is confirmation.
I feel like
I
you've
will. I
said
will.
this before.
I will find some 2B movies that you guys have to watch, and
Please.
Okay, yeah, some
Give us some
that will be
recs.
some homework. I will find some good ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so those were my put me ons. Okay, so put that down is Saturday morning cleanings. I feel like we all grew up with black moms that will wake you up. Like, mind you, if we're like in school, just we only have the weekend to sleep in. So you're being woken up to like some old school music.
On full
And she's
volume.
all happy and peppy, and it's fucking 7 a.m. She's like, get ready to wash these walls. And I'm just like, no, like, let me roll back over in bed. So, and I think now at the age I'm at, I'm more so like, can I just clean a little bit every day? Like, I don't want to just
Mhm.
pile up everything into the weekend. Because on Saturday, I want to sleep in, or I want to wake up and go to a class or take a walk.
Yep.
Like, I want to actually enjoy my Saturday and like not have to do work or like not have to do school, or like, just like enjoy it. And then because then when Sunday comes around, it's like I'm already freaking out about what I have to do on Monday and probably like catching up and like
Yeah.
trying to get ahead. So you really only have Saturday to relax your mind. But I will say, in 20 years, whenever I have children, which I'm sure will be before that, I
20
guess.
years.
But
I like it.
I know this seems so far. This seems so far for me still. Because I'm 21. But
Period.
I feel like when I am a mom that I probably will do Saturday morning cleanings, because realistically, who wants to come home from work,
Yeah.
get the kids like, 1-1, wake up, get the kids ready for school, go to work, get the kids from school, start dinner. Then you want me to clean a little bit more too? No, I'm going to take a bath with my wine. I'm going to relax. So maybe like I'm just not at the age where I'm like Saturday morning cleanings are for me, but yeah, I would like to put that down.
Those are good ones.
My put me on this week, we will be volunteering and giving back to local communities, whatever that means for you, whatever your local community is, especially if you're low-key gentrifying, like I suppose I am. I really also need to look at the definition of that, because I used to not consider I hate being put in that category, but unfortunately I do think that other people would put me in that category. So, I do like to give back when I can, whatever that means for you. And then also Black owned makeup. My favorites right now, Devious Place, Blush, always on my cheeks. Even today. Danessa Myricks. Anything. Every day. Those are my top two. And topicals, since I talked about her earlier. Whatever goss. And putting down, I think we have to stop having higher standards for Black people than any other people. I think there's so much like high expectations and like Black excellence and Black king and Black queen that is like no room for like anything else. And it's like, we're just people. We're already excellent because we're Black. We don't have to always add so much extra pressure to that. And I think that just like causes a lot of confusion and misunderstanding. So I feel like that's what we need to be a little bit, not always more lenient, because I've been lenient sometimes to Black people, and that's not always good either. So finding good balance.
It's a good one. It's good. Okay, mine very similar vibes to Amaya. It's just like shopping Black owned brands. Like I want to get better at like when I want something like, oh, does a Black founder like make it at a fairly reasonable price, because some of these prices be outrageous, but if the prices are similar, the prices are similar, I try to lean more towards a Black owned. Like for example, like New York has like a lot of markets, like so like Union Market had a lot of like Black owned business there. It's like going there for like candles and stuff like that, where like I would go to a Bath and Body Works. Like I don't need to be going there and get nothing. So going to Black owned, and they have like a lot of innovative stuff too. Because I was out of market, and like they have like the candles that like once it melts, you can use the wax as lotion. I was like, oh, so cool. Like, that's smart. So, like, I think there's a lot of innovation and stuff in it. And then my other put me on, I love pattern hair products, hair tools, I'll say. Their steamer, their blow dryer, like 10 out of 10, I will say. I don't like doing my hair, but when I have my hair natural, like those are the only tools I can use, because everything else is terrible. But I love pattern products. And then related to my put that down, non-black owned black hair products. A lot of these black owned hair products are owned by white men or like operated by non-black people, and it's like they're not making products for you ultimately at the end of the day. So going toward people and hair products that are made by black people for black people, because those are the best products you're gonna get.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember what the TikToker's name was, but I remember it being a thing because she did like an experiment, and it was like, you know how there's like CPG umbrellas, so it's like Unilever and they have like a black brand or two and then like a largely white brand. They were looking at the ingredients between like a Pantene and like a Shea Moisture. I'm not saying that these are under this umbrella, but just as a comparison for the sake of what I'm trying to say. But the ingredients would be the exact same, but they just like slapped a black label on it, like with a black person on it, which I always just think is so interesting because it's just like the same product, but they're like, this will get the blacks. It's like,
this make it brown.
Yeah.
Right. No, those are really good ones. For me this week, one thing that I want everyone to start doing, and that I'm definitely like going to be more intentional about doing, is complimenting random black women, especially little girls that like, you know, I think like with beauty standards and stuff like that, I just want, especially like the younger that they are, and even teenagers too, especially if they're going through high school and stuff like that too. But like sending more love to like black girls, black women, like go like make a black woman's day. Especially if you're a man listening to this, like go compliment more black women.
Funny story. I told this girl that her hair was really pretty. The look she gave me, I said, "Oh, never mind."
No, and yes, that has happened to me before too, where it's
never
like,
mind.
I should have kept that to myself. But
just having a bad day.
Her hair was so cute. It was such a cute color. She was my girl.
You were in New York. Well, I mean that's
yes.
Well,
you little meanies.
Just don't compliment anybody in New York because they just don't know how to take
Be on guard.
I also want to add complimenting young black girls. Like I feel like, I mean, I don't know the age. Let's say like from 3 to like fucking 18. I feel like whenever I see like a little girl, I'm always just like finding a compliment, like, "Oh, I love your hair, I love your outfit." Because I feel like also as like young black girls, we're like we can be very insecure and very hard on ourselves. And I feel like also even like our families or like our peers, like they could say things that they may not think are like mean, but like they like people's words can like live with you forever. So I just feel like whenever I just see like a young black girl, I'm like, let me give her a little compliment.
Yeah, especially like little girls with their hair and stuff. Like they know that it's different than like their white friends and stuff like that. And like being like, your hair is so pretty or XYZ. I think that like it means more to kids than I think even they realize. So I think like just like going out of your way a little bit more often to do stuff like that. And then another thing that I would recommend is going to watch a maybe like not as popular TV show or movie, especially with it being Black History Month. I'm sure some like new black shows are going to be coming out. Echoing what Faye said, like on Tubi and like some of the smaller platforms, but also like things that are being launched by studios. It's really important that you watch these shows and movies like when they're coming out. Like I feel like it's easy to be like, oh, I'll like get to that eventually, but the way that it kind of works with these studios is that like the sooner you watch it, the better it is for that creator. Because they like look at how things perform and that's how they decide, are we going to give it a season 2 or are we going to greenlight another season XYZ? So going to support Black TV shows and movies to give, you know, them more of a chance to be able to tell their stories in the industry. And then lastly, I actually put this on and I remember that it's Black owned and it's like my favorite thing ever right now. But it's this Edam. Can you guys see this? This Edam lip balm.
I've wanted to try this for so long.
I actually, when I bought it, didn't know that it was Black owned. And then I looked it up and I said, oh, it's actually like partially Black owned because it's an Asian woman and a Black woman. The Black woman's name, I looked it up. It is Alice Amuzame. Please forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. But I love that it's partially Black owned. I love that it's like not too sticky and it comes in like different colors too. So this is like my latest obsession. I love this. I got it. You can get it from Sephora if you're interested. And then put that down. I do not want Black people taking responsibility for their company's Black History Month celebrations. I feel like especially us that work at like, you know, predominantly white companies and you might be like 1 or 2 of your team that's Black. I feel like Black History Month comes around and everyone like looks at you like, So what are we doing
Yeah.
for Black History
What we
Month? It's
doing?
like y'all have teams like that are in charge of those celebrations, so it's not on me. And if you want to be celebrating me, put some effort in and plan it yourself. Do some research.
Yeah.
Look up like Black restaurants that we can go to or something that you think I would enjoy. You can run it by me before you like do something tone deaf
Like
and be
start
like,
a plan, and then you can ask for help. Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying that you need to bring
Suggestion.
in like tribal drums and shit, but like you can ask like what is it
Yeah.
that you think would be a good celebration, and you can put in the effort to plan it, because you're at the end of the day, I'm not, why would I plan my own celebration? You're supposed to be celebrating me. But no, those are like the things that I'm putting down this week.
So one more put me on is saying hi. I guess you can just say overall strangers, but I just feel like just saying hi to Black people, or even just like giving that little grin or smile, like when you're just like passing by. Like I feel like growing up we did it a lot more. Remember, I would go with my aunt like to like a grocery store after church or something, and I'd be like, wow, like this girl knows everybody in the city. Like how does she know? I'm like, how do you know these people? I've never seen these people around. I never heard you talk about them. And she's just like, I don't know these damn people. I'm just saying hi. Like, everyone just got out of church. You're just like, you're just chit-chatting over chicken. Like, you're just being friendly. And I just feel like that's something we just don't do.
It's a lost art.
As generations. Yeah, like, we just don't do it at all anymore. I feel like everyone just kind of, like, keeps to themselves. But I feel like I'm very much like, if I make eye contact with you, I'm going to smile, or if I'm going to say hi, or like, how are you doing? Just like, I can say it and pass you, like you can not even barely hear me, but I'm like, I have to say it. I guess it's like the Ohio in me, because I also saw the other day someone in New York was like, I forget. It's a platform where they ask the questions with the MTA cards. They put the mic on the back, and they're on the subway.
Hot takes or hot takes on the subway or something.
Yes, I love that. It's so funny. They've been having a lot of good like people on it lately. And one lady, she was like, yeah, like don't ask me how I am in New York. Like you must be from Ohio. Just keep it pushing. And I'm just like, yes, I am from Ohio. I would like to know how your day is going, stranger. So I think also just like a grin, or just like, how are you? I think it just like, it just helps us get back to our humanity. So
no, for sure. That's a really good one. That's good.
That is good.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up this week's episode. Thank you guys all so much for listening. If you want to submit any questions, like I mentioned earlier, you can go ahead and email us at theheysisterpod@gmail.com. You can also follow us on all of our social medias. Hit the link in our bio on Instagram at theheysisterpod. And with that, we will see you guys all next week. Oh, wait, forgot something. Also, if you like this episode, please go rate us 5 stars. We are still somewhat of a new podcast. It means a lot to us to be able to kind of collect some of those reviews and those rankings. If you hated it, just keep it to yourself. Or you can send us an email. You can send us an email at the Hey Sister Pod. You can like tell us everything you hated about it, but just don't put it on the ranking. Okay?
Yeah.
So with that, thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you guys next week. Bye, sisters.
Bye, sisters.